Hello, welcome to my Universum blog. And here we are in the bus. It was like 6:21, but I waked up at 4:30 approximately. So yeah, it wasn't like 7 a.m. and we were getting like shut it up because we were too loudly, and the road was getting fixed, and there was like these huge holes, and then we arrived late because traffic was horrible, and we get split into groups of 10, but then we mixed because the staff asked us to be in groups of 20. So yeah, this my group, and yeah, it's like lockers were like full, so staff catches like a long time. Then we entered like at 11 o'clock. No, 11 o'clock now. It was like later, 11 something. On the museum. And this is the entrance with this turtle. And look at that. This is huge. This is like a skull of a dinosaur, sea dinosaur. And the first room that we visited, it was the brain room, where they explained like the mental issues, the mental health, how it can be affected, how the brain works, the how it's it oh the senses, how it work, the memory. There was also this part of balance when they're spin, they put the person on the chair and they're spin like too fast the chair, and you can see how their eyes move, and they were moving. And yeah, it was pretty interesting, and we saw that was because the part of the balance had to brain. And yeah, this was part of visual trick, and these were parts about balance again, and the importance about our muscular and brain and how they interact, and the neurons, and yeah, everything about the brain seems really pretty interesting. The evolution of neurons, the parts, and their functions. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Here I think is the evolution or the parts of the brain. Oh, mental health, mental disorders you can get, again, because different factors like genetics, having like an accident or stuff like that, and they explained pretty well. Yeah, I liked pretty much that part. Then we visited the water room when we can see every hydric infrastructure in Mexico, like yeah, lakes, rivers, and how water is managed in mainly in Mexico City, but in general in the country. And then we visited the sexuality room, and it was like one of my favorite rooms. There was this microscopics and different lenses. There were like different type of condoms. I didn't saw many condoms in my life with different shapes and colors. There was this scanner where you can scan the contraceptives and the side effects, the development of the fetus, and the parts of the genitals, and how they function. And then we visited the next room, that it was evolution of humans and animals, earth, uh, earth, water, and air animals. So yeah, I really love this, like this part. And then it can shows like the physical changes in human evolution. This was like one of my favorite parts. The life cycle of monarch butterflies, it was also one of my favorites. In some ancient human paintings, the most interest part for me, it was like humans evolved like pretty fast. It was in comparison of time with other species. It was like in the morning we were monkeys, and in the night we can walk into feet. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. Oh, then we ate it too fast because we have like the ocean presentation. Here we are in the ocean presentation. Yeah, it was pretty cool. There was like this projector with, oh, first there was like these sharks in the roof. It was pretty cool. There was this projector. I really love this projector and these sofas. Yeah, just look at this. Yeah, I really loved it because it shows like everything. There was this skulls about many species, turtles, sharks, whales. Yeah, many species, and how they bloated and they grow, and this sea lion, I think. Yeah, I love the turtle. It's so big. It's like I always hear that turtles are big. Like specifically that species. I cannot remember like the name right now, but in I thought it was like, oh, it's big like 1 metro. No, it's like pretty big, like 2-3 meters. And there are like sea turtles like smaller, and this is like this polar bear. I loved it. These are like sharks and whales, and I love the shells and corals and evolution because they're like too colorful and too big, and like the texture show evolution. And the starfish, I love the starfish. It's like, I don't know, they're just so cute, and they show like evolution because they're like too tiny and they're like too big, and they have like too many legs, and they just have like 4 or 5 legs. And yeah, I love also the pictures and the paintings about no, there were pictures about some corals and sea species, and the corals, those were ancient corals, and I really loved them, like the figures. This is like a brain. I forgot to take a picture, and I took a video. And then we moved out to the universe room, and here are some important discovers about the universe, like Galileo Galilei, and all the stuff that first they thought Earth was like in the center, but then they realized actually the sun was in the center. So yeah, this is like the how an eclipse occurs, and the phases of the moon, a galaxy, a rocket, another rocket, and these rockets they sent to the space. They are not just random rockets. The oscillation of the planet, the temperature, their magnetic camp, their environment. No, environment. Well, yeah, their environment and their stratosphere, and yeah, it's that why they are not able to human life. And here's like to show how many bosses there were, because there was like a lot of people again. And here's the room of physics with a normal camera and a temperature camera. It shows how hot or cold you are. Then you keep the marble and it rolls, and it's too cool. It shows physics and gravity. And then we just moved out of the Universum, and we arrived 7:30 something, and when we supposed to arrive 7 o'clock. But yeah, I still angry because we entered to the Universum at 11. So yeah, I like the experience. My top three rooms are sexuality, ocean, and universe, but I think my main favorites are sexuality and ocean. Mainly because I already like this topic. Sexuality is not just, oh, having sex, it's like more, it's like beyond that. It's like how this relation with the person, sexual diversity, like it's not just women and men. It's like that's too old. In sexual diversity, diversity in general, and ocean. I feel attracted to ocean since I was a child. Like anything that has to be with ocean, I really feel attracted because it's just too pretty. It feels like it's not real. So yeah, like the colors and everything, the textures, it feels like it's not real. So yeah, and I think like the importance of these kinds of trips for students is because we can learn out of classrooms and the internet. Big part of the time we're like classroom 101, 102, 103, 303, 202, 201, and it's like we're just in a delimited space, and it's like we just have internet to get out in certain ways, but at the end of the day we have a routine. We have like just space, just limited space, and with these kind of trips we have interaction with real world outside school, and we have nice and significant experiences. We can get out of this routine. We can get awakening in our inner child. This part about our inner child is like when we see anything like for first time in our lives, like learning about the world, learning of course knowledge, but learning about the world, having new experiences, this interest and this curiosity. I think these experiences must be taken like with the with importance they should have, but sadly they are not taken with importance from the students mainly. But yeah, I really like these experiences, and they must be taken doing more often and taken with more um importance and like seriously, so yeah, I really enjoyed this activity. I hope we can have more, maybe to an aquarium or a zoo. Yeah.